All right, today we're going to talk about drawing the letters in one-point perspective. As you can see here, I've just quickly sketched out the word BLAM, B-L-A-M, and I am going to turn these into dynamic, impactful one-point perspective drawings. I'm going to start by outlining the letters very carefully to give them a nice shape. All right, I go outside the exterior boundaries, and I'm going to go inside to the interior spaces to make these some nice, thick block letters. I'm going to do this for every single one of them. I'm doing this in pencil so that if I make any mistakes or there are any problems, I can go back and correct these marks. My next step is going to be to establish a vanishing point. I'm going to draw an X somewhere on the paper, and that is going to be my vanishing point. Now, you don't have to label your vanishing point. I'm just going to go ahead and do that so you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right? Now, to make these letters look dimensional, I'm now going to grab my ruler, and I'm going to draw a straight line from each edge of the letter down to the vanishing point. All right? As you can see on that first B, the side was very similar to the directional line of the vanishing point. I'm then going to move on to the L, and every corner I'm going to draw a line to that vanishing point. There you go. All right, so every corner. Now, if there's a corner on there that I would have to draw through the letter, I'm not going to bother drawing from that corner. So like the top right corner of the L, I'm not going to bother because you wouldn't see that side of the L anyway. If you're not sure, line up the ruler, and if you have to draw through the letter, right, don't do it. Now here, what I'm doing is I'm making a line mark a ½ an inch away from the letter, and then I'm going to make a parallel curve to the bottom of that B. I'm going to do the same thing on the L. I'm doing a ½ an inch. You can do a full inch or a quarter of an inch. It depends on whatever you want, but you just have to be consistent throughout. So I've made sure that my line now towards the vanishing point is only going to be a ½ an inch long. Right? And then I connect those dots. That starts to make the letter three-dimensional. Okay, I'm going to draw a line to the A. I'm going to go obviously behind that L because I don't want to draw through it. I'm going to hit every corner. And again, at a ½ an inch, I'm going to make a little mark on every line I just drew towards the vanishing point. Does not matter if you choose a ½ an inch or a full inch, just make sure that on all of them, you do the same measurement for consistency. And you're going to connect those dots and try to stay parallel to the letter line. Now here I go on the final letter. Again, I draw towards the vanishing point. All right, every point that heads towards the vanishing point that doesn't have to cross through the letter I'm drawing. All right? See, that last part crosses through the letter, so I'm not going to do that one. And then again, at a ½ an inch. Every single time. And then connect those dots. And there you go. I've got three-dimensional letters all over the place. Oh, don't forget about this little guy. Keep that line parallel. Now I've got three-dimensional lines everywhere. I'm going to firm some of those up so I know what lines I'm keeping with the pencil. I forgot to do the inside of the B, so I'm just going to go check and see where a ½ an inch line would cross. And I'm just going to echo that point like so. Give it a little bit of three-dimensionality. My next step, I'm going to get my pen or Sharpie. I'm going to outline all the lines that I want to keep. I'm using a thick pen here with a soft tip to give me some nice bold lines. Your Sharpie will work just fine. If you want to use the big Sharpie or the little Sharpie, whichever one feels more comfortable to you. I like the impact of the thicker line of the big Sharpie. I'm going to go around and just do all the lines that I want to keep. Now, if you like to be real clean and precise, you can use a ruler when marking these lines. Just make sure you don't go over the edge of where you wanted to stop. Sometimes we have a lot of extra lines and it can get a little confusing. So be very careful. Obviously, I'm drawing very quickly, but I've been doing this for a while. At this point, I'm going to grab my eraser. And you can just erase around through those shapes. I try not to go over my marker lines, my Sharpie lines with the eraser too much because I don't want to smear anything. Although you shouldn't really be able to smear these Sharpie lines once they're set for a minute or so. Right, so you can see I'm just gonna quickly get rid of all those extra lines I don't need. And then I've got these nice, big, bold, three-dimensional letters of my sound effect. I'm gonna go through and thicken up and embolden some of these lines and clean them up a little bit. Give it just a little more punch, right? Make sure I connect all the edges, especially on the exterior borders, right? If you go over a little bit, you can just go ahead and go over it a couple more times or fill it in a little bit. Minor imperfections, no one's gonna notice. Then, this isn't a requirement, but I'm gonna add a little bit of an impact around it to help fill some more space. I'm just gonna add some kind of cloud puff, as if smoke or debris from the impact was creating a little bit of smoke. And I'm going to purposely go back and thicken up some of those lines, again, just to give it a little bit more punch, right? You can fill in those gaps and make for some thick areas of line. That's just going to give it a little bit more impact. All right, then lastly, I'm going to come in through and do a little hatching on the letters. I'm just going to put some lines to give a little bit of shadow. I'm going to point all these hatches towards the vanishing point. All right, I'm not going to get the ruler out because I don't need it to be exact. Although if you want them to be exact, you're more than welcome to get the ruler out. Nobody's going to stop you, right? This is just to give a little bit of shadow to these forms, make them a little bit bolder, and a little bit more impactful. And there's my lettering. All right, that's all I have for you today as far as instructions are concerned. Get into the module to check out all the specifics you need to accomplish for today. And other than that, I hope you have a great day. Make sure you let us know if you have any questions, all right?